Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Balkan series. Today I'm in Sarajevo. I've moved on from Belgrade, obviously that was the last video, but now we are in a totally different country. I just got myself some fruit and I'm gonna find somewhere to sit and eat them. Just walking through some back streets, and this is kind of reminding me of my village back home, all the back streets and cobbled areas. I've found a nice little spot by the river to sit and eat my fruit. I am so happy. This is so peaceful, so calm, and that is the intention for this morning, to just slow down and enjoy it. You can see the river, and then we were just over there, so I just crossed over the bridge, that bridge over there, and there's some shade. That's mainly what made me choose this spot. I'm just enjoying the city. I think it's a lot calmer than for a capital city. It's not as busy as Belgrade was, which is quite nice. It doesn't feel rushed and busy and hectic, but then it is quite early still in the day, so maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it feels kind of like a small town actually. I went to a little I don't know, vegetable shop. I don't know what to call it in English, like a manaviko, as we would say in Greece. I went to the manavis and I got some fruit. I got some bananas, an apple and nectarine, and yeah, just for me to snack on throughout the day really. And actually I've missed tasty fruit and vegetables so much. I feel like in Sweden it's better than it was in the UK. In the UK I definitely felt like there was no flavour when it comes to vegetables and fruit. Sweden is a little bit better, but banana has flavour. Yeah, I had some plums the other day and they were so nice. I was yeah, fruit with flavour again. That's what it's about. Juicy tasting. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. I've missed fruit so much. Please excuse my voice in the voiceovers in this video. I am currently sick while I'm recording this. I just wanted to come on here and say how much I loved exploring the city of Sarajevo, and I took a tour that I would definitely recommend, and the link will be in the description. This was a tour of the Tunnel of Hope, which was a tunnel constructed by the people of Sarajevo during the siege of Sarajevo. The tunnel is located under the airport runway, and for a variety of reasons, you as a visitor don't visit the actual tunnels, but in the vicinity of the airport and close by to where the actual tunnel is, they have created a replica of the tunnels, which is open to the public. Of course you have to pay a fee and stuff. I just took a tour of the tunnels here in Sarajevo. If you didn't know, there's a lot of history and it cannot be ignored, and honestly I'm so glad I did this tour because it quite literally changed my perspective on the whole city. And yeah, I'm ashamed to say that I didn't know much about it, but I feel like I've learned so much. The tour was so informative. Sorry, I'm going up a really steep hill. You're not even going to be able to tell on camera. I'm really out of breath. But it was a really, really good tour. I didn't feel much generally when I'm on these kind of tours, about wars and stuff. It feels kind of wrong to whip out the camera and start filming everything. I did get some clips, but I want to stay respectful obviously, and I was more focused on actually learning and listening to what the guide had to say the guide himself is a war veteran. He was a police officer during the war, and he told us a lot about his experiences. But okay, on a different subject, I am going to the Yellow Fortress, which is a viewpoint where you're meant to be able to see the sunset. And as you can hear, I'm really out of breath. It's really steep. There's not going to be much of a sunset today because it's quite cloudy. Actually, I'm kind of worried that it's going to start raining because you can hear thunder, but the weather app says it's fine. So let's keep going, and I'll show you when we get there. One thing you have to do if you're visiting Sarajevo is to watch the sunset from the Yellow Fortress. Even on a day like this where it was super cloudy, it was really nice, really beautiful. The stunning views of the city. For me, it was really interesting as well to have a mental map of how the city is laid out and to understand the geography of it all better. So apparently if you drink water from this fountain, it means that you will come back to Sarajevo in the future and that you will return. So of course, you know what I'm going to do. Guess that means I'm coming back. So you'll notice that this street is all copper, like it's a coppersmith street, because they used to have guilds where everyone with the same profession had to have a shop in the same area. So you see typically all the coppersmiths together, for example, all the leather, people selling leather items together. So I'm now standing outside of Sarajevo City Hall. The architecture style I think is called Pseudo-Moorish. And basically when the Austro-Hungarians came to Sarajevo years ago, they wanted the local population to like them, and bearing in mind that a big percentage of the city population are Muslims, this architecture style sort of combines elements from Islamic architecture and more European or Christian, I guess. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, that's what the tour guide was saying earlier. I took a free walking tour and I can 110% recommend it. It was probably one of the best things I've done, and yeah, actually I think it was it was incredible. You really get to learn more about the city. I can really recommend doing those wherever you are. I think it's a good idea. But when they wanted to build this city hall, they needed space, and there was some caravans and like a public space which the Austro-Hungarians were able to sort of demolish and get rid of, but they wanted to respect the private property of the locals, because they wanted to be liked by the locals. So there was actually one house on that side of the river where the city hall is now, and it used to be a family home, and they wanted to respect it, so they tried to make an exchange for this house and offer money to build actually initially one other house, like bigger, and then 2 houses, and then the equivalent of 3 houses, and the owner refused all offers because it was his family home and that his family had lived there for generations, and he wanted his family to continue living there in future generations. So he made a deal with them to actually he had a meeting with them, and he actually went for a quarter of the first offer that they gave him, and that was to cover expenses from his shop that would close, because he had a shop in his house, and that would obviously have to close. So the quarter of the value that they were going to give him originally would be to cover those costs, and then his other wish was brick by brick to rebuild his home on the other side of the river, because he owned a piece of land on this side, and that is the house right there. So this house is called Stubborn House. That's what it says at the top. I like the fact that this house moved from that side of the river to this side, and that this family man, he essentially wouldn't be bought out of his home, and he came up with this other solution. And our tour guide was saying that stubbornness is a big characteristic of Bosnians and the population of Sarajevo, and it's what's gotten them through some of the darkest days in the history and has helped them to keep going. So that was a really fascinating tour, and we covered the history of Sarajevo from the Ottoman times all through to recent history with the siege and the Olympics. Guys, I'm not one to get excited over food. I can never really relate to people who say they get happiness from food. It's a feeling that I really want to feel, but it happens very, very rarely. And this was one of those rare occasions. My mouth is watering just thinking about the food at this place. I thought it was really, really good, tasty. I loved it. And I will definitely be eating here again when I visit Sarajevo in the future. This is amazing. I've made my way down to Mostar now, so I'm actually going to end this video here, but thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and if you did, why not subscribe and stay tuned for the next video, which will be the Mostar vlog.